From gardening to animals to extreme renovations, welcome to Homesteading at College Hill Farm. Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Today we're planting an herb bed. Years ago, before we moved to this property, we had a property in Harlan County, Kentucky, and we had an established herb bed. Well, we haven't done that here yet, so I would like to get that started today. What did we have in our established bed? Well, we had oregano or marjoram. We had oregano, we had Greek oregano, which is called marjoram. We had chives, garlic chives, and onion chives. We had lemongrass, lemon balm, sage. We always planted basil, but we always had volunteers that came up early. So I would like to get back to having, and rosemary. We planted rosemary too, and we took it up and put it in our hoop house over the winter. So I would like to plan on having the same type set up here. So in doing that, I'm going to do that today, and I'll explain about each one of the herbs as we go. But I've got a raised bed. You saw how we planted our lettuces. You can go back and look at that video. I'm going to prepare the bed the same way, and then I'll come back to you. Got the bed ready. It's all dug up. A lot of big old long roots in there. There always is every year. Got it dug up. Going to get ready to plant stuff. I'm going to talk a little bit about each variety that we're going to plant, and I've laid them out here in a specific pattern because of the way they grow. For example, we're going to plant some early basil, but basil plants will get about this tall. You know, Crystal will come by and pinch them regular, and this is just going to be enough basil for us to use till our main basil crop comes in. We're not going to plant dill in this bed because when you're going to do pickles, you got to have a lot of dill. So we'll plant a bed out in the regular garden. But okay, let's start with the really low growing plants. Now, a lot of these plants are going to come back year after year. Basil's not. Parsley won't. Parsley will come back, but it goes to seed the second year. But most of this other stuff is going to come back. Now, I'll have to dig up the rosemary if I want it to come back. But let's go ahead and start. The first one that we're going to plant, this is English thyme. Let me pull it out of its pot here. What you want to do, you just want to make sure that this is sunk good into the soil. So I'm going to just dig a spot here that will fit this whole root ball. And I have loosened this all the way down to 8 inches or so. And just firm it in. Now, thyme is one of those herbs that really doesn't like a lot of attention. As a matter of fact, it's almost a desert plant. So that won't get a lot of attention. It won't get a lot of fertilizer. We'll just leave it pretty much. The next plant I want to talk about is oregano. Now this is oregano, and there are two types of oregano we plant. We plant regular oregano, or what some might call Italian oregano, and we plant Greek oregano, also called marjoram. Now we like both. We like this regular oregano, we like it both dried and fresh. But marjoram, we want it fresh. We'll freeze most of it, and we'll freeze quite a bit of this regular oregano too. So oregano is one of those plants that it will take over your herb bed. I mean, take it plumb over. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in. Of course, it comes with a little root ball. You just want to plant it up till the root ball's covered. So, boom. And that's in. Now that oregano will grow and grow and grow, and it'll come back. So what I do is, on this bed, one end has regular oregano, the other end has Greek oregano. because both of them will grow like crazy, and we'll have to thin it to keep it from taking over the bed and keep it confined to the two sides. All right, the next one I'm going to plant. Yeah, this is onion chives, and this is garlic chives. So we plant them both, but we plant them right together. Now what we'll also do, chives are one of those things in the fall, you come back and just cut them back, and guess what? They come back in the spring. So chives are one of those plants that are going to keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back. So although these are kind of expensive to buy them in pots like this, they're going to come back over and over and over. So get these in the ground. Again, all of these herbs, you just want to plant them up to the level of the pot. Next, rosemary. This is our favorite herb, my favorite herb at least, on lamb and goat. I love lamb and goat. Chevin, I think is what the name for goat meat is, but I love it. This rosemary, if I want to keep it from year to year, the thing about rosemary is it'll die in the winter if you don't protect it. Now I have done as little as, oh, that smells awesome. I have done as little as taking this rosemary and just putting a tarp over top of it in the winter and had it survive the winter. But the easiest way is to put it in a small greenhouse. So I'm going to dig down. Oh. That's in. Now we've also got some more rosemary, but in little bitty plants that we'll put down. And the rosemary kind of divides the bed in half. On one side's oregano, one side's marjoram. All right, the next one. Lemon balm. It adds great lemony taste to a lot of dishes. Crystal cooks with it. Of course, all of these we cook with or eat fresh. Now I'm going to tear the pot off this a little bit. They say that you can plant these pots, but I find that if you take the pot off just a little bit, they just fire better. So I got the pot loose, got the loose from the bottom. Now I'm going to put this in just right here, not too far from the Then to go along with lemon balm, my hat's tilted. To go along with lemon balm, we've got lemongrass. And I plant them real close, in close proximity to one another. That way, you know, it's the same flavors, kind of stuck together. And now I'm not just planting one of these. Okay, I'm just showing you planting one. I'll come back and show you the entire bed when we're done, when I'm done. But I'm showing you each herb that we're planting in this bed. All right, peppermint. Peppermint gets to be a good sized plant. So the way the bed is arranged, closer to me is the south. Farther that way is north. So I want to put the taller things north. But now peppermint doesn't get as tall as, say, basil. So I'm going to plant it at kind of an intermediate, kind of in the middle. That's got the peppermint planted. Now, I'm going to switch up a little bit. Here I am on the north side of the bed. And what am I planting over here? Well, I'm going to start off with basil. Again, it's in one of those pots that they say you can plant with it, but I just don't like them. They're all right, and they're better than a plastic pot that gets thrown out, but I tear them up because I find that the plants do better if I take that pot off. Now, oh, I love the basil. I love to eat it fresh. But now, this basil, this is the sweet Italian dark leaf. You can buy Genovese basil, and you can buy just plain basil, and we like the sweet Italian basil. So again, just dig out a hole big enough for your pot. Bring the dirt up around it and firm it in. Now I plant basil here on the north side because the basil is going to get tall and I don't want it to shade things from the other side. Sage is another one of those plants that's going to get tall. Now basil won't come back. This is the only year we're going to get basil out of this bed. Okay, I won't be planting basil in here anymore. All of the basil goes out in our regular garden. You can see how we make a basil bed, but I'll show it again when I do another video. Here we're going to do sage. Sage is another one of those that comes back year after year after year. Let me get this out. Come on. So, but the sage will get kind of tall. So what I want to do is I want to put it in the southern side, on the northern side of the bed. Firm the soil up around it. And finally, the last herb, well, not the last herb yet. This is coriander, also called cilantro. If you harvest the leaves, it's cilantro. If you harvest the seeds, it's coriander. So, now when it gets 85 degrees, these will be done. So we'll have to harvest those pretty quick, but we'll put them right in the freezer and put in salsa. Crystal's not a fan. I kind of like it, but Crystal's not a fan of it, so we only plant a couple. Now, if we live further south, cilantro would come back year after year after year. But where we live here in Zone 6, cilantro's not going to make it into the second year. And finally, the last, well, there's actually one more after this. We'll be putting in curl leaf parsley. Parsley is one of those things that it comes back the second year, but it goes to seed. I don't know if I'm going to let it go to seed or just plant more parsley next year from seed. But anyway, all right, Greek oregano, also called marjoram. We love it. It's a good fresh herb for cooking, and it will keep growing all year long, and it will be here over the winter and pick up growing again. So this and oregano, we'll have to fight it to keep it from taking this bed over, but oh, it's a sweet fight. Okay, I'll get them all of these in, and then I'll come back and let you see the bed completed. Then I'll need to water them in. Probably wait a few days and then fertilize a little bit. Okay, I'll show you what the end result. Okay, all planted, ready to go. Cilantro, oregano, parsley, lemongrass and lemon balm, rosemary, over there sage, garlic and onion chives, thyme, oregano, peppermint, and basil. That's our herb garden in. I recommend that everybody should have an herb garden. Even if you just, let's say you just did marjoram, rosemary, peppermint, and basil. And that would change the way you eat and the way you want to eat. Trust me. It totally changed the way Crystal and I eat. So, if you like this kind of stuff, this homesteading, doing it yourself, all that kind of stuff, chickens and animals, and be sure to come to the channel and subscribe. Hit the bell. It'll tell you when we upload a new video. We try and upload something every week. We upload our videos on Sundays. So now it's time for me to get on to the next thing.